a fantastic 500 race. It's Barros, it's Biaggi, it's Doohan, it's Crivier, it's Arbe. That's your top 5. It's as quick as that. And number 19, John Kosinski. He knows when he can sense a win, when he can sense it. If it's not all right, it doesn't go well. We're on board with Doohan, almost touching.
We're on board with Max Biaggi, looking right up the back of Alex Barros as he tried to put a wheel alongside Barros. That is, he's got him on the inside now, but will he make it stick? He's looking up the inside, he's got the line, and Barros has to give way, run wide, tuck in behind, try to square off the corner and come out on the inside if he can to get some drive to come back. Mick Doohan behind him, then Alex Crivier, then Abe, then John Kosinski. John's tried a couple of times to get around Abe. Abe's been looking a little squirrely back there on the back of that group, but that's the way he rides.
The top, the top 6, everybody, are covered by 6 tenths.
Here's Barros back into the lead again, trying for it anyway, tries the inside line, but this time it won't work as the wider line from Max Biaggi, the faster line. Barros certainly is fighting back, and Mick Doohan sitting on the back of that group.
Max Biaggi, if he could win, he's got the streak going, Dennis. He's got the streak of winning here in 250. Doohan's got the streak of winning here in 500.
Doohan's won 5 in a row in 500. Biaggi's won 3 in a row in 250. We said the winning streaks collide, and something's got to give. The crowd is going wild on the hillsides. Randy, what's it like out there?
It's fantastic. I'm standing here listening to you guys because you guys are doing a good job. Max is opening the gap on this lap.
He sure is.
So it's interesting, and he's staying in the seat. He's being very, very smooth. Irv Kanemoto said that after the warm-up, he felt very, very positive. Max, this is Max, of course, and was looking forward for today's race. When I talked to Max on the grid, when we were off the air just before the start of the race, you could tell that there was a lot of concentration and a lot of pressure on his shoulders right now. But you can see the gap he's opened up.
Well, this is an opportunity, perhaps, as Mick Doohan looks up the inside now and moves into second place. So Mick Doohan gets past Barros. Well, he did that once before, and then Barros and Biaggi both came back past. Doohan, now seeing that this is getting to be a serious situation with Biaggi making a break, is going to try now and pull in Max Biaggi. Mick Doohan in front of Barros, but Barros will try it again. You wait, Barros will try him again.
The lead of Max Biaggi is 1 second, and
there's
Barros has got him.
Back up. Well, has he? Yes, he has. Barros back up. He's even on the brake. Crivier tries around the outside. That won't work.
What?
Another thing that's amazing me is the fact that on Michael Doohan's bike, he's getting past quite easily coming down the front straight in the draft situation.
Look at that lead that Biaggi's got. He did a time of a 1 minute 53.8. You get ready for this, folks. A 53.8 would put him 3rd on the grid and only on his 3rd flying lap. There is no end to this guy's talent. Over the line they come to complete lap 4. Doohan, he's going to have a real stomp on now. Biaggi's lead is extended. It's extended by nearly half a second.
Doohan's having a real battle with a demon on the brakes here with Barros as well. Crivier, rather. Crivier not being able to hold off Barros. Doohan finally got away from him.
Is a battle royale. Biaggi got the advantage, but Doohan is not far away.
Well, Mick Doohan did a 1:53.3, almost as quick as his pole position time, taken as much as half a second off Biaggi's lead just in a single lap. And you see right now he's all over the back of him. While we were on commercial break, we were chatting with Randy Mamola in pit lane about what might be the reason. You know, Mick had gone for a harder front tire, Biaggi full soft. And of course, Randy, that means that, Mick on the first lap really had to get feel and heat into that tire, didn't he?
Yeah, and as you say in that, the sun's just come out, and it's actually getting warmer, so the ground temperature is getting hotter. There's a perfect example of being able to draft, and he's not being able to draft him right now.
He's up on the inside. Is he going to make it stick? No, he doesn't.
No, the only way I think that Mick is going to help make that sort of thing stick is get past him before they end up coming around to the start finish line. And there he goes. He just took the lead.
Michael Doohan now leads the Italian Grand Prix here at Mugello. He just sped past Max Biaggi up the hill. It's quite an incline, and maybe the 180-degree motor just gave him a little more power. Thought Max Biaggi was going to have another look up on the inside. Let's have a replay.
So Doohan through on the inside there, and a good line closes it up. There's nothing Max can do about that one. On the last lap, that's 0.6 of a second slower than he did on the lap before.
And here comes Max Biaggi on the draft, coming past me right now.
Oh, big drag race, cutting the corner. Max looking to the left and then looking to the right. Is he going to make it stick? No, he's not into the first corner, into San Donato. Hard on the brakes, braking from nearly 190 miles an hour on a 500, 185 plus horsepower. Absolute beast of a machine. Doohan got that advantage over the line, as you can see on screen, by just over 0.02 of a second. Let's not forget Alex Crivier in 3rd. Barros still in 4th place. Kosinski is then heading Arbe, Aoki, Checker, and Crafart and Laconi. There's a real freight train going back there. That is the battle for 4th, all the way down to 9th place.
Lead, Max Biaggi not able to make a draft pass on Mick down the straight, but looking reasonably comfortable as he follows the world champion, the 4 times world champion, around Mugello, his home track. And these hillsides alive with the Italian tifosi, screaming and yelling and cheering and waving flags and banners for Max Biaggi, the leader in the World's Championship, rookie in the 500 class, only making his 4th Grand Prix start in this class after having already won the opener in Japan. He's been a revelation so far this season, but Mick Doohan, to beat Mick Doohan in Mugello, wow. Nobody's done that, as we said, since Kevin Swans, and that was back in 1992. It's rained since then.
It certainly has rained since then. Well, Michael Doohan in complete charge, 4-time World 500cc champion. But Max Biaggi, I think he's got his thoughts together in the last 2 or 3 laps. The gap was up to 0.4 of a
close
second.
Up right there, doesn't he?
And then he got it back to 0.3. Then it was 0.15. It's now 0.2. So he's in the hunt.
And you see on screen that it's Alex Crivier being dropped behind Biaggi by 3.3 seconds. Now Doohan lapping 53.9 on the last lap. We saw Doohan do a 53.3 earlier in the race. Well, we don't know if the tires will let him do that again, but we know that Mick has been a rider many times who has controlled the pace. He'll go a little bit, then back off a bit. I don't think he's going to want Max Biaggi to get around him here, though. He's not going to want to let Max pass and follow him, I think, because this...
Mick seems to be able to, from mid-corner out, seems to be able to open a gap. What you're seeing through the flip-flop lefts and rights and mainly entering the corner is Max being able to close up in on him. Maybe he's just got that much more confidence in the softer front than Michael Doohan. He can't quite get past him going into turn 1.
Had a lot of momentum, though, in the second half of the front straight, really, as before they came into this turn 1. San Donato up the hill where we saw Michael Doohan pass Max Biaggi earlier on in the race to take first position away from him.
Oh, Mick, a bit of a slide there.
Biaggi looks strong now. He's got his thoughts together, lifting the front a little. Now in another...
Max looks really much in control here. When he enters those corners, the bike's not moving around. He's sitting up early, whereas Mick really seems to be pushing really hard going into the corner. He doesn't seem to be able to make any advantage over Max. Again, coming out of the corners, it seems that Mick is able to get on the gas just a little bit earlier. Max closing up once again on the brakes.
Well, Max Biaggi, he won the Italian 250cc Grand Prix last year. Same colours, smaller machine. That was last year. He somehow beat all the Aprilias home then, and if he can do it this time, as I said before, the bells will be ringing all over Italy tonight, like if a Ferrari wins a Formula 1 race, but most of all, they'll make him Pope. On board with Carlos Checker, looking back at his own teammate, John Kaczynski. Up the hill they come, out of Area Beata 2, down, steaming into the Scarpa corner, the right-hander as they look at it, and then pick up the bike, go over to the past the point where Tadeo Carter fell in practice Friday. Checker's on a roll.
Well, they're not winning the race, but it's an important one between these two teammates because there is a little bit of needle between the two, as there always is between teammates. Checker refers to John Kaczynski as the $1 million kid, and frequently says when he does better times in practice, what does the $1 million kid think of my practice times? They still smile and have a joke and laugh together and have lunch and that sort of thing. But, you know, when you got somebody dressed in the same color as you, riding the same bike, he's really the guy you most want to beat.
Once again, 153.9, and Max Biaggi dropping off the pace.
Way off the pace,
155.1. So it makes me wonder if that front tire is going a little bit too soft, and maybe he's pushing the front end.
Well, he made the bet, sorry, Toby, he made the bet for the soft tire. It looked like it was going to work on the opening laps, but Doohan with the hard front, pulling away here at the end. Max was, wow, he's lost 2.2 seconds to Mick Doohan, and I think they can start the bus over in the Repsol Honda garage now.
I think Well, that's it from our coverage here from Mugello. We've had a superb day's racing. Thank you very much, Randy Mamola. We're sorry that we didn't get to speak to the riders on the grid with their helmets off, but don't forget, you can see the riders in close attendance on July the 2nd at Donington Park, the Day of Champions. Princess Royal, she'll be there. What a fantastic weekend racing in all of the classes. Biaggi, he's in touch with the championship. We just got to look forward to Paul Ricard in 2 weeks' time.
Absolutely fantastic, this 500 class, and we go on to Paul Ricard. Let's see if Biaggi has an answer to do, and he didn't today.